Ato atilo maye. Wato man boti pie mamuye. Ato atilo maye. We are oh. Sauna timungo we. Kwe brawa tifwa ke timungo gai. Sauna timungo we. Kwe brawa tifwa ke timungo gai. Bati koma ke agreement ilo mulwang. Mwateni. Bati koma ke agreement ilo mulwang ye. Tonya bidi bidi ke inyamunga. Ndewe amugbe pati ndejima we. Jiva trouble bra. Mwambia mwa fila we. Jiva kunde bra. Mwambia mwa lewe ya pimi. Mwa uli dogon. Amugili amwe.
Tonya mya ke bidi mya. Melo waji mahante sauna mya manga woma. Election time got to go to woma. Take him at my band this shit in my little tinga. They are really good in your way. Yeah, young way. Damn, you're thinking in my wallow, hey. That when I'm going up on the young. Yeah, badi, me. Tonya, badi, me. Come on, DJ Nyamunga.
Ato atilo maye. Wato man boti pie mamuye. Ato atilo maye. We are oh. Ato atilo maye. Wato man boti pie mamuye. Ato atilo maye. We are oh. Sauna timungo we. Kwe brawa tifwa ke timungo gai. Sauna timungo we. Kwe brawa tifwa ke timungo gai. Bati koma ke agreement ilo mulwang. Mwateni. Bati koma ke agreement ilo mulwang ye. Tonya bidi ke inyamunga. Ndewe amugbe pati ndejima we. Jiva trouble bra. Mwambia mwa fila we. Jiva kunde bra. Mwambia mwa lewe ya pimi. Mwa uli dogon. Amugili amwe yege nyali unkeda kwe amendelwe mbatelo. Sawa kamoti milwe mbatela. Kabale junior o SBPN. Ubide enjoy. Kabale junior o SBPN. Tokwe otia o amuye. Bele molele adopi. Tiata lele amaledi. Yenya inji ye ilole tiatima. Bo kekene matela tijo. Bo bidi na this last time. Ato atilo maye. Wato man boti pie mamuye. Ato atilo maye. We are oh. Ato atilo maye. Wato man boti pie mamuye. Ato atilo maye. We are oh. Sauna timungo we. Kwe brawa tifwa ke timungo gai. Sauna timungo we. Kwe brawa tifwa ke timungo gai. Bati koma ke agreement ilo mulwang. Mwateni. Bati koma ke agreement ilo mulwang ye. Tonya bidi ke inyamunga. Ndewe amugbe pati ndejima we. Jiva trouble bra. Mwambia mwa fila we. Jiva kunde bra. Mwambia mwa lewe ya pimi. Mwa uli dogon. Amugili amwe.
And feel not to see them, man. God, they with it even like our brothers and sisters. Love and support, we don't show them. All can rally, we don't dance, but God, we they meet up now one big ball. Jake body and balla together. We be fit say wake up, don't butter, we pray the oil for the show, now we face. Lights not there, how the picking them for study now. Mama not at work, papa not get money. One go school, but the system and sorry. Free education, the left and a story. I see 6 years now I'm pairing. A woman for live this life with me now gets money. You not go no say we they suffer. Cause top up if you know they buy.
Mwali, bima ke umbate panda. Debi nyai ma ale mao. Mwali, bima ke umbate panda. Bilega tale ma fo. Mwali, bima ke umbate panda. Debi nyai ma ale mao. Mwali, bima ke umbate panda. Bilega tale ma fo. Mwali, bima ke umbate panda. Mwali, bima ke umbate panda.
Delay and see dangerous.
Sauna timungo we. Kwe brawa tifwa ke timungo gai. Bati koma ke agreement ilo mulwang. Mwateni. Bati koma ke agreement ilo mulwang ye. Tonya bidi bidi ke inyamunga. Ndewe amugbe pati nde jimawe. Jiva trouble bra.
Hello, Fambul them. How now they do? I don't need for interpret the music. I not say the one the other agreement they understand what in the music means. This music speaks to what in they can discuss today. How deception and lies don't lead the country. We're supposed to be the richest country in West Africa, the richest country in Africa, if not the richest country in the world, into abject poverty. Deception, lies, we see right now. Deception and lies don't take over Sierra Leone. And until we learn for put them things there under control, we learn for build trust by saying the truth, that land is doomed. But some of we not go agree. Until now they say people and they make coup. There are different ways you can make a coup. Coups not necessarily means pass to use weapons. The pen, the intellect is mightier than the sword. You can push the people to the wall, but you cannot push them through the wall. You can fool the people some of the time, but you cannot fool them all the time. The culture of deception and lies, it don't become so endemic that even people who you expect much from, when they talk, when they act, what you see are deception and lies. And now that don't go as a culture in the society, such that you not get nobody for trust in that country. Nobody. Even to the ordinary man on the street. There are many cases that I know of where people then they out, now the diaspora, then they labor. Some man they left your house in the morning, they can't take midnight. You work like slave. We don't get a small thing. He send and say, now do this thing for me. Then they misuse them. Then they go take false photo, can't show them. Or go face false evidence, can't show them. Why we society for so? Now this deception and lies, now they can't go inside politics. Now make politics don't be a game of life and death. And enough for continue. Look at what is happening. Then conduct a whole election. The whole world cry. One person go lie by you. 2 people go lie by you. But 5, 10, 20, 100 people, now they lie by somebody you angry. after all the charade, what he end pa? Now they but coup, but this, but that helicopter they can land. Helicopter where in fuel tank, no, they last for 1 hour flight. They say now 4 hours they fly. Who is fooling who in Sierra Leone? Can we stop insulting the integrity of people? Can we? Do we know the laws of physics applies even to societies? That for every action, there is going to be an equal and opposite reaction. Do we know that? Do we understand that side of science? But again, I'm not going to blame una. Most of una never study science, so I don't know what that means. Religion, we una believe in, they tell una say, anything we do, the consequence. The Muslims, they call her hacker. The Christians, and they call and say, sin, retribution. What is so difficult to understand? That we cannot continue as a social group for the lie by ourselves and for the deceive ourselves. More so when you look at the country, you see common bloodlines, common surnames, common place names. Those Sidom, we take lie and deception and thief, make occupation. We get for try, na salon. Sierra Leone has so much to offer. But because we know they use this, I make people and they suffer. And even those sitting up there, misusing the resources of the state, even those sitting up there, conniving with criminals, drug dealers, etc. Are they enjoying their lives? Let me ask a simple question. Are they? Maybe the concept of enjoyment now for drink alcohol, smoke cocaine, take some other drug, do what you get for do with almost woman, you feel say you go deceive for make them believe say you're not a big man, when in fact you are worse than an animal in the bush. Then you get a thugs around you. You say, I get bodyguard them. You don't have a bodyguard, honestly. Because with all what you they do so, you just overstress your body. The mind is overstressed. You don't have any peace. And at the end of the day, what happens? The body deteriorates and you die. Una they inflict death by una self, by una very actions and una lifestyle. Do ya? I wonder some of una friend term una visit Scandinavia. Now una can begin see you say trust and ethics. They make people then live with colat. Do ya? Not try. No, not friend term. No, not visit ya. If you get them there 1 month, they see how decency they contribute to people in their life. What is the reason for all this deception? Why all these lies? Who told you, people, that this is how life should be? Who said that Life has to be an issue of class, those who have and those who don't have. Who said so? If you believe it's a God that said so, then please stop going to church or mosques, because that God does not exist. It's not in the Bible, it's not in the Quran. It's not there in those books. In the Bible, they told us in the book of Genesis that God said, let us make man in our image and after our likeness. There's nothing there that says, let us make some rich, some poor. And you people have the audacity to go all over the place and get blessing. Which kind of blessing? Blessing for being a crook and a thief, deceiving and lying to people, keeping them in suffering. If that's blessing, I don't want it. Honestly, I don't want it. Because we pass in this world, in this body, once. And for every time we pass here, if there is reincarnation, for every time we pass here, we are expected to do something that will assist this world to be a better place, not to be a worse place. When you lead an organization, you lead a company, you lead a business, you lead a country, it is ethically incumbent on you to ensure that you improve that institution so that the people working with you in that institution will experience and enjoy an improvement in their lives. If you cannot do that, then you are a failure. Success is not about how many houses you have, how many cars you have, how many women you've misused or abused, or how much you think you have in a bank account. That's not success. That's affluence. And that can come and go. But success is permanent. Success has an indelible footprint on the sands of time. And success cannot go with deception and lies. It doesn't. It goes with truth, trust, and ethical behavior. If you guys don't know how to run a country, please, we are not asking you to leave, but we are asking you to open up so that we'll begin to advise you as how to do it. It's not about your theories or your assumptions. Running a country is running people. It's people, the minds of the people, the beliefs of the people, the attitudes of the people, the character of the people that makes a country. If we cannot build those things, then we cannot build anything. We can have the best structures, but if those aspects of our humanity are not developed, those structures will go to rot. We've seen it in Sierra Leone several times. In the 70s, we had a very good infrastructural progress. We had schools that had equipped laboratories, universities had equipped laboratories. People went to school with a lot of ease. Universities would provide food, lodging, everything for the students, and they give pocket allowances to students. How did we lose those things? Because we cannot manage our humanity. We cannot. Those things went away because we cannot manage our humanity. We took ego, greed, selfishness, deception, and lies to destroy ourselves. And here today we are, still continuing to use the same thing. Ebo, that's insanity. If you keep doing the same thing and expecting different results, it's a definition of insanity. And it's time somebody says that. It's time we begin to think that we cannot continue this way. We cannot. How long are we going to be on emotional hype? Every day, people are on the alert. Hey, country tango. Hey, tindekapono. Is God partial? What did we do that God should forsake us? If you want an answer to that question, I'll give it to you. You go and read your Bible and your Quran or whatever book you believe in. It is clear that we are masters of our destinies. What we think, what we do, what we say is what makes the environment around us, because we become as we think. If you think war, you are going to have war. If you think peace, you are going to have peace. You create it by your thoughts. God uses the energy of intellect to create. And in man, the image and likeness of God, our thoughts create those things for us. If you think you are poor, then you are poor. Because every action you take will lead you to poverty. If you think you are rich, you become rich. Because every action you take will lead you to wealth. If you think you're unsafe, then you become unsafe. So you do all the stupid things. And by God, there are a lot of stupid things going on in Sierra Leone as I talk. A lot of them. A lot of them. Yesterday I was talking with somebody and he said, hey, I remember for go salon. I said, but I don't need for go salon. Honestly, because not out of fear. It's out of the fact that I cannot subject my spirit, my soul, to any environment of disquiet. Here, I can sleep and leave my doors open. It's unfortunate my office is downstairs. And one day I'll be upstairs and you'll see I live in a glass house. I have a very quiet spirit as I live here. Going to Sierra Leone with what I've been used to over the last 20 years come this December. I'm going to subject myself to early death. Honestly. And of course, for the political side, hey, if you go there and go do, but do me bad, boy. Wait, do me bad, not die, then I have forever. Because not die, they go wait for you. Then I get for go ask you next one, say, well, Padiotia, do you kill me? Because I tell you to. It's time we begin to face the truth. And you stop that idiotic intimidation of people. Like, do this. You're doing that. If you get for there forever, do anything you want to do. What time cannot die, you say wait first, are there first. This syndrome of fear, control has to stop. After I don't rig election, when I grab the other, hey, make coup. Who is making coup? Who? Where did the arms and ammunition pass through for them to come and make coup? Is it taken from the military arsenals? Have we been told that Arms and ammunition were taken from the arsenals. Man, they come out Freetown go meet in Akabala for can make kuna Freetown. Who say pull the ammunition? At through Guinea pass? Do you want to implicate the government of Guinea in this also? Because if person go meet in Akabala, logically, if we get for use arms and ammunition for can stage kuna Freetown, if we out and from Kabala. How it pass? Or do you want to say it was deposited by an helicopter? Now make una stage the helicopter show na Newton, na Fobo area. Una left, bo. Una left. Sierra Leone deserves peace. Sierra Leone deserves the beginning of the construction of a society we go operate on trust. The Kamara, the Koroma, the Sila, the Bangura, and others we born Apujang. They're not different from the same surname we born in other parts of Sierra Leone. They're not different. As a matter of fact, we don't have tribes in Sierra Leone. We have languages. We don't have tribes. This ethnic business will not stop them. We will not get ethnicity in Sierra Leone. Now languages we get. Languages. And all the languages so they use in Sierra Leone, when you watch them, these are languages that developed after people migrated from other parts. The mixture, the social interactions, now creates their languages than they. People came from the north, from Senegambia, the Bambara and the Fulani and the Baga. They came from the north. Senegambia, they come Guinea-Bissau. There was a kingdom there called Kebu. That's where the Fofanas, the Sisses, the Soares, the Mansare, and others came from. They came south. You have another group that came from the east and the south. They were the last, in fact, to come, those who came from the east and the south. Then you had another group that came from inside present-day Guinea towards the coast. They settled there. With long mixture, they forge languages. That's why today, when the Bolom, the Suso, and the Timni talk, there is a lot of similarities. Timni was formed in Sierra Leone from Baga and mixture of Bolom and other languages. When the Baga talks, the Timni talks, it's just like Mende and Loko. The Loko were in Sierra Leone well before these people were called Mende to they came. They were the people occupying most part of Kenema and Kailao. They moved north. That's why there is a lot of similarity in place names between Kenema and Bombali. Those people who lived in Kailao and Kenema were Bandi. They are also in Liberia. The Manis who came, they mixed with these people, they mixed with Vai and Galines, then came Mende as a language. But today, we see a situation where people take those languages as if they are rules that came down from heaven. Creole came into existence after 1787. When the settlers from Nova Scotia and other places came, then Yorubas came, people from Equatorial Guinea, etc. were brought to Sierra Leone. Fantis from Ghana were brought to Sierra Leone, because there was a period when Fantis, a Fanti chieftain and his entourage were exiled into Sierra Leone. They were brought to York. Then Baibure was taken to Ghana at almost that same time. This is how languages grow. Languages are living organisms. They grow with time. They grow with interaction. The English that we speak today is completely different from the English spoken during the Anglo-Saxon time. After the English started traveling by sea, a lot of words were adopted into the English language. And because they traveled most, that's why today the English language has the largest vocabulary you can find. There are words from almost every language in the English. Arabic, Polynesian, Inca Indian. What you call cacao is Inca Indian. Tapioca is Inca Indian. That's why, because it was not known to the people in the coast before, and when it was brought by these travelers going to South America, the people on the coast adopted the name of the Inca Indian, Yoka. And this is what we don't know. This education is what we don't have. We claim to have PhDs and whatnot, and we don't know who we are. So what are we today? People lying to each other, people deceiving each other. We don't even know we are the same blood. We don't even know we are brothers and sisters. We don't even know we have the same DNA. It's time we end that charade. It's time. It's time we begin to map out peace. If you want to be a rich man, you can still be a rich man when the country is peaceful and open. Because if we make the society peaceful and open, if we begin to encourage people to develop their talents and we pay them good wages, that means we are improving on consumption. Economies run on consumption. It's not on how much $1 billion you keep in your house for your houseboy to go and steal. Because yesterday somebody told me some $1 million were missing somewhere in Freetown. When the person told me, I said, look, I don't want to hear that, please. I don't have any business with keeping money at home. This is my money. This is my money. And it's also an ID card. That's why it has my photo. If I lose it now, I just go to the internet and tap, 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 tap. It's blocked. I don't have any business keeping cash in my house. Cash is not wealth. But coming back to the issue, if we can get out of this culture of deception and lies, we are going to empower people who will consume more. And the more people consume, the more goods and services that will be sold, there will be more demand, more need for supply, and more need for production. And I'll tell you what, if we can set that economic chain in process going, in the next decade or two, we would have over 50 billionaires in Sierra Leone. When I say billionaires, I mean in real terms, not billions in currencies that don't have value, in real terms. Because it's commerce and production that creates wealth, either of a good or a service. Mark Zuckerberg in the early 2000s was a poor man. He created a service that had a demand. And he created an institution that had the capacity to supply. There is production of the service constantly. And so he makes wealth. What is so difficult for us to understand about this? What is so difficult? Who told you your lives will make you a billionaire? You can't be a billionaire. You'll be riding on borrowed times. And because you're riding on borrowed times, you have to continue to deceive and to lie to keep yourself on that borrowed times. It's time we begin to look at how to change. Change is not a physical process. It's a process in the mind. And nobody can change anybody. It's you who will change yourself. The only thing that somebody else can do to assist you to change is what I'm doing now. Bring into your attention what is wrong. If you accept that it is wrong, if you convince yourself that it is wrong, then you'll be able to change it. If you keep denying, then you continue to deceive yourself. Self-deception will consequently lead you to deceiving others, because that will be your mental status quo, one of continuous self-sabotage, deceiving yourselves, lying to yourselves. Oh, it's good for us. We are in power. Yes, you are in power. But you think you're going to be there forever. One day, some way, somehow, something is going to happen that will take you out. Nobody needs to make a coup on you. Honestly. Nobody. One day, some way, somehow, something will happen that will take you out. Either you get sick and become an invalid, which will take you out, or you die of a natural cause. Nobody is going to kill you. Or maybe out of your own foolishness, you'll do some stupid thing that will kill you. Over speeding because you think that's the way you can secure yourself. Then one day, the bearing on the wheel will just get out and boom, that's the end. What does it cost you to be normal? Is it expensive to be normal? If it's not, please let us try to begin to be normal. One thing we are not understanding, and maybe that's why people don't believe God exists. God is so normal that he's a very quiet spirit. And God, because he's a democrat, God is the first democrat. Because he's a democrat, he cannot go against what he has promised. You are told that in your religion, that God cannot go against his covenant. They say it in the Bible, they say it in the Quran. He's a democrat. He says, do as you like, but be ready for the consequences. And for us, not to be undemocratic, that's why he gave us the 10 commandments. And those 10 commandments, when you look at them, it's just one commandment, one single commandment. This is why people who believe in ethics use that word they call the golden rule. Do to others what you expect them to do to you. Why? If you deceive people, you lie to people, one day you'll be lied to. you'll be deceived. And it will hit you most. If you kill people, one day you'll suffer death also. And it will hit you at the most unexpected time. What does it cost us to be normal? Do we think all this? I don't know how to put it. Is it hype, or is it hyperactivity, running after what we cannot take along with us, running after what cannot leave any indelible marks on time? We've seen people before. They've run after everything. They got everything. At the end of the day, they missed everything. Even if they left it before death, after them, those structures, those institutions become untenable because they did not do the right thing, which was train the minds of your inheritors to understand what it means to maintain what you've started. If you can accumulate all the billions on earth and you die and your children cannot continue to maintain that wealth, then you've wasted your time here. Honestly. You've only spent your time satisfying your ego. And because we spend our time satisfying our egos, that's why most times we have to deceive people, we have to lie to people. But there's another side. And that other side can also make you a rich man. In Norway, where trust is put forward, there are rich people. As a matter of fact, one of the richest men in this country owns 25% share in Radisson Blu International, the hotel, one of the best hotels you have in Sierra Leone. When you see that man, Olaf Thorn, is a real estate man. Simple, common. He walks the street with his bag. He goes around gathering empty plastics and things like this to assist the environment. He takes some of them to the supermarket. They have a place where you can take these Coca-Cola plastics and things like that. He puts them in the machine. The money from it, he punches for Red Cross, and he gives almost $2 million every year to Red Cross. That man owns a chain of hotels and such structures in Scandinavia. Every year, he gives $30 million to research institutes in Europe. As a matter of fact, as I speak, they are constructing a plant in a place called Breivik that will take carbon dioxide from the atmosphere and bury it in the ground. Thorn funded that project along with other wealthy people. Here, the wealthy people, they are common. They live simple. They don't have mass of bodyguards around them. Why? Because the society operates on trust. Everybody respects everybody's right. Nobody tramples on anybody's right. It's not when you trample on people's right, when you use deception, when you use lies, that you can change society. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. You create animosity in society. You create discord. You create discontent. And at the end of the day, you create disaster. Because where all those things are present, it's a place that you find poverty, malnutrition, and disease. Are you people happy walking around the streets of Sierra Leone, seeing people in poverty, people going for days without food, etc., etc.? Is that a show of might? Keeping your fellow human being in abeyance, is that a show of might? Keeping your fellow human beings in suffering, is that a show of might? If that is, I don't want that might, honestly. It's time we begin to think, act, and do things otherwise. Deception, lies cannot help anybody. Look at what happened recently in the elections. And people were out there deceiving and lying. They still do. And this issue of deception and lie is not about a single political party. It's across the board. Even in the APC. You see a lot of deception and lies. And I'll tell you something. If the APC is not careful, the predictions of Fatima Bio is going to happen soon. Honestly. There is one thing I respect about Fatima. Say what you may about her. She is very intelligent. She reads people and things. If you don't understand that, begin to understand that now. She's not manipulating anybody. It's her intelligence that is giving her that upper hand. She's very intelligent. She reads people and things. She observes things. The only thing is, she's like me. She would not hesitate to say what she wants to say. She says it as she sees it. Everybody has a good side. We all must aspire for our good sides. We all must aspire to become the best side of us. And the best side of us cannot be acquired or achieved by deception and lies. It's time we end this. I am fortunate to have been in the primary school in the second class when Sierra Leone had independence. I'm fortunate to have been in the first form when the 1967 elections were conducted, and I was in Freetown. I didn't see everything, but what I saw, looking back after so many years, sitting down in my quiet moments, looking back at a lot of things that had happened in Sierra Leone in my lifetime, I am convinced that our problem is not political. Our problem is here in our heads. Our problem is the assumptions we make about our sociological relationships. Our problem is the assumptions we attach to our beliefs. Our problem is the assumptions we attach in the interpretation of religion. And I would advise we change that. Otherwise, let us stop praying. We are hypocrites, honestly. We are misinterpreting religion, misusing religion, abusing religion. We use that plus some other kind of fear factor to control people. That's the highest level of deception any human being can get engaged in. It's time we change. If we don't change, change will change us, and it's going to be painful, very painful. I would stop here for today. Thank you very much for listening.
Nyande bo gelu manjima we. But somebody has in the love for we. Papa tiji mukeni mi otu omia. Robe mwelu mama. Ato ati loma ye. Wato mangoti pe mamu ye. Ato ati loma ye. We are oh. Ato ati loma ye. Wato mangoti pe mamu ye. Ato ati loma ye. We are oh. Sauna timungo we. Kwe brawa tifwa ke timungo gai. Sauna timungo we. Kwe brawa tifwa ke timungo gai. Bati koma ke agreement ilo mulwa mwateni. Bati koma ke agreement ilo mulwa ye. Tonya bidi bidi ke inyamunga. Ndewe amugbe pati ndejima we. Jiva trouble bra. Mwambia mwa fila we. Jiva kunde bra. Mwambia mwa lewe api. Mwa uli dogo. Amugili amwe.
Donya mya kempe dipeti mya. Melo waji mahante sauna mya manga woma. Election time got to go to woma. Take him at my band this shit in my little tinga. Behaviours ka gade nyamwe. Yeah, nyonga mwe. Aya, nyonga mwe. Tam ya fika ne ma walo hey. Takwena kwena bonda ya. Yeah, bedi mya. Tonya, bedi mya. Come on DJ nyamunga.
Ato ati loma ye. Wato mangoti pe mamu ye. Ato ati loma ye. We are oh. Ato ati loma ye. Wato mangoti pe mamu ye. Ato ati loma ye. We are oh. Sauna timungo we. Kwe brawa tifwa ke timungo gai. Sauna timungo we. Kwe brawa tifwa ke timungo gai. Bati koma ke agreement ilo mulwa mwateni. Bati koma ke agreement ilo mulwa ye. Tonya bidi ke inyamunga. Ndewe amugbe pati ndejima we. Jiva trouble bra. Mwambia mwa fila we. Jiva kunde bra. Mwambia mwa lewe api. Mwa uli dogo. Amugili amuye kenyali unkeda kwe amendelwe mbatelo. Sawa kamoti milwe mbatela. Kabale junior o SBPN. Ubide enjoy. Kabale junior o SBPN. Tokwe otia o amuye. Bere molele adopi. Tiata lele amaledi. Yenya inji ye ilole tiatima. Bo kekene matela itijo. Bidi na this last stand. Ato ati loma ye. Wato mangoti pe mamu ye. Ato ati loma ye. We are oh. Ato ati loma ye. Wato mangoti pe mamu ye. Ato ati loma ye. We are oh. Sauna timungo we. Kwe brawa tifwa ke timungo gai. Sauna timungo we. Kwe brawa tifwa ke timungo gai. Bati koma ke agreement ilo mulwa mwateni. Bati koma ke agreement ilo mulwa ye. Tonya bidi ke inyamunga. Ndewe amugbe pati ndejima we. Jiva trouble bra. Mwambia mwa fila we. Jiva kunde bra. Mwambia mwa lewe api. Mwa uli dogo. Amungili, amwe.
And still not to see them, man. Sky day with the people like our brothers and sisters. Love and support, we don't show them. All can rally, we don't dance, but Sky day with the meet up now one big pala. Check body akbala together. We be fit say wake up down, but we pray the oil for the show now we face. Lights not there, how the picking them for studying now. Mama not to work, Papa no get money. One go school, but the system and sorry. Free education, the left and a story. I see 6 when I'm burying. A woman for live this life with me no gets money. You not go no say we the suffer. Cost up up and feeling no they buy.
Mwali, bima ke umbate panda. Debi nyai ma ale mao. Mwali, bima ke umbate panda. Bilega tale ma fo. Mwali, bima ke umbate panda. Debi nyai ma ale mao. Mwali, bima ke umbate panda. Bilega tale ma fo. Mwali, bima ke umbate panda. Mwali, bima ke umbate panda.
Delay and see dangerous.
Sauna timungo we. Kwe brawa tifwa ke timungo gai. Bati koma ke agreement ilo mulwang. Mwateni. Bati koma ke agreement ilo mulwang ye. Tonya bidi bidi ke inyamunga. De we amugbe pati nde jima we. Jiva trouble bra, mwambia mwa fila we. Jiva kunde bra, mwambia mwa